when I was on the staff at Durham University in the 1980s, I was very fortunate in knowing people who worked in the library and in the English department. And they knew I was looking for texts with a strong northern identity. And they recommended a number of different poets, and one of them was Basil Bunting. I had never read his work before, and I found it quite remarkable. Not just the images that you get in the poems, and particularly in Brig Flats, but also the music and the musicality of it. So I made a deliberate decision to go and meet him and talked about, I can't remember what we talked about, but it was a meeting that I'll never forget. And it was after that meeting that I phoned him up and I said, look, I really admire Brig Flats. I don't understand everything in it because it's partly autobiographical, and a bit like Ezra Pound, it's very, very dense. But the importance of the images in the landscape, and the landscape as a metaphor for something much larger, made a profound impression on me. And I said to him, you've got a wonderful line in your poem, Orion strides over Farne. And I said, the image of Orion and the idea of the story of Orion and the idea of Farne as a place that I know very well, I'd like to combine them, but it's too long as a title. May I call it Orion over Farne? And he said, it's not my line anymore. You can do with it whatever you want. It's a wonderful place historically, where we know that Cuthbert spent time there. It's both within reach of the mainland and the Northumbrian hills, but it's remote at the same time. It's a place that's surrounded by marvellous light and the reflections from the sea. And I just love the name Farne. Far is somewhere distant, but Farne brings it closer. And I just loved the sound of the word. And the sound of the word Orion and Farne together, all these things made me feel as though once I'd been given permission to use these words for my title, I began to, that's an awful expression, but I began to own them. They became mine for the duration of writing that piece. But I do remember that when I was composing Orion, at that time, I tried to be extremely rigorous with regard to pitch organisation and harmonic procedures. Particularly now, I've become much more instinctive in what I do, but instinct, of course, built on or based on years of experience of being rigorous before. But at that time, I was trying to be extremely methodical about the way things were used. So if you can hear a dividing of the landscape, of the orchestral landscape, according to harmonic territories, then that's very nice to hear.